The Portland Trail Blazers make it a trio. This is what we call a winning streak, folks. 3 straight wins for the hometown team. Are we now starting to worry about the tank? About the tank?
Yeah, they're 6-8, which it means they're a game away from 500, and the panic is setting in. And look, enjoy this. Enjoy it because it's fun.
I can't.
Enjoy it because it's fun. Shaden Sharp's doing well. Donovan Clingan had his game on Wednesday night.
I do like Shaden Sharp doing well. That's great.
Tumani continues to be an absolute monster. He had Trae Young in hell last night. You could like Trae had ended up having a decent box score night, 8 of 16 from the field, and as a creator, he was finished like 26 and 9 if I remember right. But he also had 5 or 6 turnovers. Let me see, I've got it right here. He finished with 29 and 8 with 6 turnovers. He was a -4 on the night, which kind of tells you he was that good and efficient, but he was that disruptive with the ball or that loose with the ball. I think all 6 turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, were as a direct result of Tumani Camara.
Tumani Camara is my spirit animal. He is the guy that when we watch basketball, I tell my son that's how you want to play.
He's going to get all defense votes.
I love that.
Like that's
him.
That's people from other teams telling me that.
He should.
He's that good of a defender.
He's great.
He is a no doubt dyed in the wool premier 3-and-D guy.
I like him.
He's doing things. The Hawks had 25 turnovers last night. 25 turnovers. The Blazers have now had 3 straight games generating 10 or more steals. Remember we talked about this, like the identity they were starting to forge with being disruptive? They are very, 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 very good at being disruptive. If you take a look at kind of what they are and how they are built, their offense is one of the worst offenses in the league, both by effective field goal percentage and on points per 100 possession basis, right?
But this is kind of the way you would want this season to play out, is that your defense can keep you in games. We know they didn't have a scoring punch.
No.
Shooting is still the problem. Even with Shaden Sharp playing the way that he is, shooting is still going to be the issue for this team.
And what's happened is they have hit shots enough.
That third quarter, buddy.
Yep. It flipped on its head. After having some struggles in the third quarter, that third quarter last night, they went nuts. Shaden had 13 points and all 5 of his assists in the third quarter.
Is Chauncey Billups talking the team publicly going to be what prevents the Blazers from getting Cooper Flag?
I don't think so, because
it's working though, that was the big thing we talked about at the time. This could go one of 2 ways. Yep. He is still getting it from that team, and they are buying in. And that is Chauncey Billups the guy of the future? I don't know, but you're not going to get much better than what he's got right now this year because the guys are still playing for him.
He's pushing the right buttons. And this is what I've tried to tell people so much for the last 2 years is, look, man, when you've got a young team, you're going to step on some landmines and it's going to be bad. And sometimes you're going to have young teams that start games slow or come out of the half slow. Look, I've had the players tell me, and the reason why I have not necessarily backed Chauncey, but why I haven't been like, fire him, is very simple. The players are telling me, look, he's preparing us. Him and the staff are preparing us. Like, we know what we need to do. Just sometimes we're dumb about it.
Yep. And
like
that's young teams will do that.
Yeah,
man.
And it's like sometimes we don't stick to the game plan. Like, they've matchup hunted. Like, they played a little, against Tuesday night against the Timberwolves. They played Find Mike Conley. That's what the offensive
play. Find the old guy.
Like, he's 37, 38 years old, and he's 6 foot tall. We're big as hell. Like, we don't care if it's Tumani Camara. Like, we're just going to find whoever Mike's on. We know Father Time has just reached up and snatched him.
It's like the Jake Paul Tyson fight. That's elder abuse.
It's picking on the old guy. But if you're going to put him out there, guess what we're going to do? And that's kind of what they've done. They played the same thing yesterday. Right. Stay away from Dyson Daniels. Find Trae Young.
For the people that are worried about, hey, they're winning too many games, I will say this right now. They're going on the road, shooting variance on the road for a team that's not good shooting, period. You go on the road, that gets amplified. Also, I will revert everybody back to last season, which is the last time the Portland Trail Blazers had a 3-game winning streak, was November 3rd of 2023.
So almost the exact same time.
They won 3 games in a row where they beat Toronto, Detroit, and Memphis.
It was that road trip.
And
those were all like coin toss games.
Memphis was when they got back home from it. And then they went off and they lost 2, 4, 6, 8 games in a row after that. Okay? and I remember we had that conversation like they're 500 because
Yeah.
at that point the 3 wins got them back to 500, and it was like they're 500 right now. Panic. It's okay.
They
I
ended up
like
with
the
another
fact
three pick.
that we're unlike even like that last year.
You're seeing growth.
We're seeing a team that is actually competitive and they're looking competent on the defensive end of the floor.
And the thing
It's
is,
fun. It's not
for everybody that
brain numbing.
No, and the thing is, everyone's freaking out about. Just go by the math. Last night's or yesterday afternoon, whatever you want to call it, that game was a coin toss game. Came down to 5 points, which is what most games in the NBA come down to. If Shaedon Sharpe doesn't hit a 30-footer at the buzzer, the Hawks probably win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, you can literally say that. If the Hawks don't have 25 turnovers.
Wait, we're convincing people how they should have lost games
No,
now?
no, no.
It's just
yeah.
how weird it is that.
But no, but that's my point. Like, if you take a look at these games, you had the Timberwolves game on Wednesday, which, yeah, they played well, but the Timberwolves also shot 7 of 42 from 3.
Dang.
That's not going to happen. Like, if you're looking over things over 82 games, which this fan base, it just refuses to do. It's in the moment, like, last Sunday, a week ago, fire Chauncey, he's the worst thing ever. Oh my God. And now it's the Blazers are great. It's the young guys. And you know what nobody is saying? Nobody's saying it's Chauncey's good.
Yeah.
Nobody, no, like, if he's the reason that they're so bad, then he's the reason that they're so good. And my point is, it's neither. It's neither.
You're somewhere in the middle. Huh?
You're somewhere in the middle because that's what happens with a young team. You get some shooting variance. Look, Donovan Clingan was a man possessed on Wednesday night against the Timberwolves. Couldn't play him on Sunday afternoon. Took him off the floor because they were at a minus 18 with him on the floor. I think is what it ended up being. I'm sorry, my mistake. It was a minus 20.
Is that bad?
Yeah.
Oh.
Look, Atlanta went small, and it was like, we can't do this because Trae Young knows how to manipulate a pick and roll probably better than damn near anyone as a creator in the league. He's so good at that, and Donovan's just not ready to be dragged out to the three-point line over and over again. And here's the thing. On most nights, that's going to result in a loss.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen here. They're going to play Oklahoma City on Tuesday, then I got a back-to-back in Houston with the NBA Cup games. You've got Phoenix on this trip. They're probably going to get the living crap kicked out of them, in all reality.
All right, Danny just guaranteed they win this road trip.
But here's the thing. You have...
By the way, no, I think you misspoke. It's not Phoenix on this trip. They got Oklahoma City, Houston twice, Memphis, and
Oh,
Indiana.
sorry. It's Memphis. My mistake.
Yeah.
It's all good. Hey, we talk for a living. Sometimes sometimes you say something wrong. It happens.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you look at where they're at with this, and you just go, okay, 6-8 sounds so much better than 4-10. And in reality, 2 games very easily could have gone the other way.
I tell you what, you know what sounds better than
You're right.
6-8?
You're right.
Do you know what sounds better than 6-8? Cooper Flag.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be fine. If you take a look at where they're standing right now, you look at, and this is why you have to look at 82 games. You look at where they are. You go by the actual math, the point differential, the net rating, all the predictive stuff, like the Pythagorean math that has been very, very, very good at predicting where teams finish. As of right now, they're in a 3-way tie for fifth worst record in the NBA. The only teams that are worse are Washington, Utah, Philly, and New Orleans. In New Orleans and Philly, they're there because of injuries.
And I think they have looks like the 7th worst point differential in the league.
Yeah, and they're right there. Look, as I'm saying, Chicago's minus 7.3, Toronto's minus 7.4, and Portland is minus 7. When you that kind of point difference, like,
I'd like to see that climb down into the bottom.
No,
3,
you
but,
don't, because you can't watch 70 games of this. You can't.
Yeah.
Look, Utah fans, Will Hardy is losing his mind in Utah right now. He's a great coach. He does not like losing, and they are in hell right now. And like the Utah fans are just sitting there, they're clawing at the walls because Utah is very similar to Portland in that. When has Utah been very bad? It's not very often. It's
No.
very similar to Portland in that they are usually a very successful team.
All right. Well, hey, these metrics, man.
Those scientists better check their hypotenuses, dude.
Because the Blazers are playing well, dude.
Again, over 82 games. Let's see how this looks. Yes. I just don't expect the shooting to hold.
All right. Well, right now,
I don't.
The Portland Trailblazers are 6-8.
It's computers.
Which only puts them with the third worst record in the Western Conference right now.
Yeah. So they're what, 12th in the Western Conference?
Dude, right now, they'd be the 7th seed in the East.
So here's the thing about that. For everybody who keeps saying like that's going to happen, the East has to play each other.
Yeah,
so,
at some point
so
they
they're
gotta
gonna
win.
get some wins.
All
Like
right.
that's what's gonna happen. And Portland's just gonna sit here and continue to play the West, and it's going to just chew them up.
Currently, Blazers have the 11th worst record in the NBA. Quick reminder, the team that got the number 1 pick this year,
Atlanta,
had the 9th worst record in the NBA.
and they were 10th in the lottery because they got bumped back because the team jumped up.
All right. Okay, well, there we go. We're Blazer balling. Look, they're going to be okay. Remember the smoothing of the lottery, too?
Mhm.
Being the absolute worst is not what it was before.
No, it's not what it was pre smoothing, as it were.
Yeah.
You still want to be there, but it's just
Dude, my brain's super smooth,
Yeah.
bro. I got the smoothest of the brains.
wrinkle free, bro.
Wrinkle free, bro.